Good morning, church. Happy Wednesday to you. Pastor Craig here with a midweek greeting. I'm sitting in my living room because I want to introduce you to, well, my newest best friend, you might say. No, it's not my birdie. I had him on my shoulder, thought maybe he'd join me for this video, but he decided he wanted to go do his own thing. So, no birdie. He's not new to you. Anyways, I've introduced you to the birdie in previous videos. No, this new best friend of mine is someone who's kind of shy, tends to spend a lot of time behind me, tends to take a lot of abuse, also tends to get a lot of hugs. This new friend of mine, well, he's right here. It's my pillow. You know, some of you have been wondering how I'm doing health-wise. Generally, still doing well. Still doing what I'm able to do and able to do a number of things, but getting a lot more tired. As you likely have heard, I switched medications. This is the third week on the new chemo pill that I'm taking, and it is definitely sapping my energy. I'm spending a lot more time napping. I'm spending a lot more time working at home just so that I'm able to take the breaks that I need. It's taking a toll, but I'm still doing what I'm able to do. But as a result, this pillow, well, it just hangs out on the couch here because I spend a lot of time sleeping on the couch. Some nights I can't sleep in bed, and so I'll get up and come lay on the couch, maybe read for a bit until I just allow myself to completely fall asleep, and then a few hours later go back to bed. Other times it's during the day, I just come in, it's like I just need a nap, and so this is one of my nap spots. I have a few favorites, but all of them have a pillow. The pillow's become, I guess, my best friend. And you know, the pillow kind of helps me to rest. And as I think about resting, it reminds me of a passage that I came across recently. You know, in the Psalms, we read all kinds of writings about all kinds of tough stuff the psalmist is going through. I was thinking of Psalm 3, which starts out by saying, "O Lord, how many are your foes? Many are rising up against me. Many are saying of my soul, there's no salvation for him in God." And a little while later describes thousands of people who set themselves against me all around. You know, I suspect the psalmist was feeling, there's a lot that I can't do. What can I do in this situation? And lately I've found myself grappling with that. Not only in terms of situations, what can I do, but even just in terms of my health. Unfortunately, there's a lot of things that I cannot do. I don't have the strength and the energy to put into doing things around the house that I would like to. I don't have the strength and energy to give leadership to as many different areas of ministry as I was at church. And that's tough. But then I'm reminded of a verse that the psalmist writes right in the middle of that chapter. Chapter 3, verse 5. I lay down and slept. I woke again, for the Lord sustained me. You know, we often read rest in the Lord, and we think of that as something that we do, you know, spiritually. We just quiet our hearts and trust God and lay things at his feet. Those are all different phrases that we'll use to describe basically resting in the Lord. But the psalmist goes one step further. I lay down and slept. You know, sleep is physical rest. And our bodies need that as much as we need spiritual rest and mental rest and emotional rest. But we need physical rest. And I'm grateful that God has once again allowed me to be able to sleep. It is one of the perks of having a medication that makes you drowsy. I am sleeping much more, which is good. But it's very easy for my brain to go back to, but what about the things I can't do? I do want to let you know of a few things that are happening where I want to give you information, and maybe some will choose to be involved. There are some things around my yard that really need to be done yet this fall, and unfortunately, I'm just not able to do them. If you'd have time and energy and would be willing to loan me some of your energy and some of your strength to be able to get some of these things done, I'd appreciate hearing from you. That would be wonderful, an amazing blessing. Also at church, things have changed as far as what I can do. The board and I have met, and have prioritized what are the areas of ministry that I put my energy into. And there's a lot of other things that I'm just not able to do. And you may notice some differences as a result of this. You may stop by the office to see me and I'm not there. It's because I'm doing most of my work from home. That doesn't mean I'm not available. If you stop into church and want to see me, talk to Bev, and she'll get a message through to me that you're wanting to speak to me. And if possible, we'll line up a time to meet. Another change is simply how I'm meeting with people. The majority of my meetings now are being done at the church or will be telephone conversations. I'm just needing to limit the amount of contact that I have people, because not only am I weaker, my immune system is getting weaker and I need to take steps to protect myself. You'll also notice on Sunday mornings I wear double mask. No, I'm not freaked out about COVID. It's because I need to take steps now to protect myself. And so wearing an N95 mask is a step that I can take to protect myself, while at the same time making it convenient when I go up and down the platform. It's a little easier with a non-medical mask to do that. So that's just one of the things you'll notice. You probably won't see me out and about at events as much either. Even at the church, I won't necessarily be attending every function that happens at the church. I have to prioritize, what do I put my energy into, and what contacts with people is it wise to have. I'm still grateful to be able to serve in the ways that I can. I'll still be preaching the majority of times, though we'll be bringing in guest speakers at least once a month to give me a little bit of a break that way. I'm still working with the board to give leadership. I'm still working with the staff to give leadership there. But there's just a lot of other things that I just won't be able to do as quickly or as well, or possibly not even at all. And if you're trying to get a hold of me, please be patient. I may have seen your email, but may just not have had the energy to respond to emails that day. I will get back to you. And as I say, if you'd like to actually get together with me or speak to me, the best way to do that is contact Bev. She will get a message to me and let me know. And I will contact you and try and line up a time to get together or a phone call. And if that's not possible, our elders are stepping in and helping with some of the spiritual care needs of the church and the visitation stuff. And so if I'm not able to, one of our elders will gladly get together with you. And so just want to share these just to give you an update of where things are at in terms of ministry-wise and how things will look. Some of you may be wondering what's happening with Fall Startup. We had set the Sunday after Thanksgiving to be our tentative start date. The board has realized that is not a realistic date. We have met with ministry leaders for discipleship ministries. We have had a follow-up meeting. The thing that we're working on right now is structure for children's ministry. And we would like to have that in place before we start the ministries up. We have decided that we will be using a curriculum called The Story. It's a really neat book and follow-up materials that really 80 to 90% of the book is text straight out of the NIV, as it tells the story of what God is doing throughout the Bible by walking through the Bible chronologically from Genesis to Revelation, and in doing so highlights the work that God is doing in the world, in desiring to redeem the world and draw people to himself, but then also looks at it from the level of what is the work that we see God doing through the entire scripture of calling humanity to him and desiring to work through us as human beings. And so I'm looking forward to working with that material. We will have as many of our discipleship groups using that material as possible. And so we have set now a start date of November 7th is when we have to have things in place. We're not sharing details at this point as to what the children's ministry will look like. We have an idea, but we want to process that now further with those that we're giving leadership and work at getting leadership in place. As soon as we have details that we can share, we will be doing that. And so appreciate your continued prayers as we work in that area. Adult Bible studies will continue working as they have been. And so those are meeting regularly. And also we will be working with Stacy to figure out leadership for youth ministry and seeing that start up as soon as possible as well. So just an update on where that is, a bit of an update on my health. I will be headed to Saskatoon next week, have a meeting with my oncologist, the first time I've seen her in person for many years. And hopefully will be a time when we'll be able to look at some blood work and see, is this new chemo being effective, and make a bit of a plan. So that's a lot of me talking about where I'm at, but it all comes from the point of needing physical rest, but also a reminder for all of us that we need spiritual rest, that we need to rest in the Lord. And in the times when we find ourselves thinking, I don't know what to do, I can't handle this situation, this is just too big, this relationship's too far gone, the hurt in my body is too great, I don't know that I can keep going, I'd encourage you, rest in the Lord. Put your trust in Him. He's got this. But notice that the psalmist said this statement about actually laying down and sleeping and waking again, for the Lord sustained me, in the midst of a chapter when he was surrounded by people that were out to get him. He was surrounded by, as he put it, thousands of people who have set themselves against me, all around me. Let's not focus our eyes on the circumstances and all the things that we can't do. Let's trust God and choose to rest in Him. And may He give us strength, sustaining strength, and may He give us rest and even sleep. Have a great week, church. I hope that you're enjoying this week and look forward to worshiping with you on Sunday. And so, as always, let's be the church God has called us to be, intentionally becoming people who embrace and reveal God's love.